Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries, monster cryptids.
Hospital Porter's pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to HPANWO TV and welcome to this Reply to Comments 102. This is the 102nd video in which I get to reply to your comments, hence the title. And you may think to yourself, why are you doing this, Ben? Why not just simply reply to my comments like everyone else does by writing a text underneath? I don't have time to do that because I get too many comments, but I feel obliged to reply because you guys write such very good comments and they're so very interesting. So feels rude not to. So I appreciate everyone who does reply to make comments. I really do appreciate them. So that's why I feel obliged. So I do this video instead. Now you might think to yourself, what's the point of this? It's a 9-hour video. I only want to reply to one comment. I don't want to sit around watching a 9-hour video just waiting for the one little moment when you reply to my comments. Well, you don't have to, because underneath the comment I'm replying to, I will put a timestamp announcing that I'm replying to your comments and saying that exactly where it's going to, well, not exactly, within the nearest hour of the upcoming reply to comments video that you will find the reply to the comment I'm replying to. Get it? And let's face it, my reply to comments videos are not 9 hours anymore. They're a lot shorter because I do them more often. I used to do them every 2 months or so. I now try to do them every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the number of comments I get. I also enjoy doing these comments reply videos. I mean, it's fun. They're good videos. I think they're great, good fun. And you tend to enjoy watching them, my viewers. My dear viewers, you tend to enjoy watching them. Some of you watch them all the way through, which is really, really cool. Now, and this is going to be, this one, the 102nd reply to comments video, I should point out now, is going to be slightly different. It's going to be slightly different because what's going to happen now is that I'm going to do 2 separate reply to comments videos. Now, the main one is going to be the YouTube one. It's going to the first part is going to cover all my YouTube comments. This is going to be the longest and the main one, and it will be available on YouTube and all 3 of my alt-tech video sharing sites. So that will just cover YouTube comments. But then there's going to be an addendum. There's going to be an alt-tech addendum, which will be an alt-tech exclusive. They will only be available on BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey. The reason being is because I've decided I'd look at some of the comments I've been getting on alt-tech, and I've decided they're a little bit too dodgy. So it's not just the videos themselves. I mean, that I sometimes have to make alt-tech exclusives, like the most recent one I did. I did a recent one, which was the Abby Richards chart rematch. That's only available on alt-tech. Excuse me. It's not just them. It's not just the videos now that I have to make alt-tech exclusive. It's the comments that are on them. The comments that are on them also are getting very, very to the point. They're getting very, very hot, red hot, and rather untouchable. Too hot for YouTube. So I won't do this every time. I think it's only when I get certain comments on alt-tech videos to the great extent that it's too cumbersome to keep using encoding language. So look out for the alt-tech exclusive equivalent or addendum or annex to this particular video, which will be separate, completely separate. Okay, so let us begin. Let's begin from where we left off at the end of the first videos posted after I finished replying to the comments I got for the last reply to comments videos. And we have, on reply to comments 101, we have Fetler John, and he says 101, number 1. Well, congratulations, Fetler John. That's very, very good. Same video, Teddy Bear Leem. Teddy Bear Leem says, hi, Ben, this is Stuart Brayman. Teddy Bear is my dog. Oh, right. Hello, Stuart. How are you? I know Stuart Brayman from other sites, so yeah. Same video, we have Darren, 3rd. Well done, Darren. You get a bronze medal in true Olympics fashion. 101, Neil Peel Paranormal Peep Show, late on the gate on the comments section. 4th. All right, well, no medals for you, Neil, but I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you writing a comment. Rick Horden, hello, Rick. How are you? Reply to comments 101. David Lammy lies down on Broadway. I wish he'd bugger off to Broadway and play an idiot former cabinet minister, which he wouldn't have to act very hard, would he? Thank God Diane Abbott's not in the cabinet. Oh yes. As you know, Diane Abbott pulled a bit of a boo-boo after thinking she was totally and utterly impervious because of all the horrible things she said about white people. She actually attacked another victim group, and as a result, they finally had the chance, the opportunity they've been waiting for to get rid of her. She's now on a backbencher. All right, we have here on replying to comments 101. Timothy Jeffers says here, I understand that because you exposed Sasha Christie over Larry Warren, she took revenge and accused you of being sacked by the NHS for bullying, happy slapping a fellow colleague. She said that, yes, but she was wrong. She made that up. I still don't get it about deleting the Porter's video. If the mother was in cahoots with NHS management, it would have made a lot more sense to leave the video on the internet to prove you were just having fun and show everyone that management were wrong to accuse you of such a horrible thing. Okay. I deleted the Porter's video at a request of her, the mother of this chap that this friend of mine, I won't name him, this friend of mine who's a brother Porter. She's not in cahoots with NHS management. She was approached by NHS management and they asked her if they thought there was anything offensive about it, which is another way of trying to persuade her to make a complaint. Now, from what I gather from the testimony and the records that were sent to me, which I don't know if they're accurate, I've not spoken to this woman in detail. I have said hello to her, and we got on all right. She did not make that complaint, but she did give them enough ammunition to add the thing to the list. I mean, they basically sat her down. It's the usual thing that they're very good at doing. They sit down, and they say, "Don't you think this is offensive? What Ben did with your son?" And she said, "Are you sure about that? Have you maybe if you think it over, you'll realize Ben is bullying him and being really horrible. You know, that sort of thing." They do this for hours on end sometimes. So she asked me afterwards, after she got away from this meeting, I think she was quite shaken by it. She actually wrote to me. She didn't tell me what happened, but she just asked me to take the video down, and I did. The video I don't think is harmful. Like I said, I will. I don't think if I have a copy of it. I don't even know if I have a copy of it, but I don't know if it's right to share it or not. Basically, it was just me and my friend, just messing around. We were just making a bit of a comedy video between us for our own mutual amusement. Timothy carries on another paragraph. You and Sasha Christie both agree about the accusation. Yeah, oh, right. Okay. We don't agree about it because she said that as if to say, yes, it's true. I said that to explain why it was a false accusation. In fact, they did drop the accusation during the course of the disciplinary, that particular. By then it was too late. I mean, it was too late as far as I'm concerned, but they did drop that. But my point is that they made this accusation and tried to sack me for this when it wasn't true. They made it up, whereas Sasha's saying no, she's implying and hinting that yes, it was true. Have you any more ideas why I should believe you rather than Sasha Christie about being sacked by the NHS for bullying and happy slapping? No, Timothy, just believe whatever you like. I don't care. All right. I don't have to justify myself to you or prove myself to you for a 12-year-old issue that led to the end of my hospital portering career. I've got if you go to the HPWA blog, it's all written down there. All the details are written down there. You can read for yourself and make your own mind up. And Rhiannon says here was a reason. Oh, Rhiannon's a good friend of mine. Here was a reason not to pay any attention whatsoever to Christie. Just take a look at the puerile, childish, vicious, petty, hysterical nonsense she posts about anyone who happens to threaten that fragile ego of hers. When we disagree with someone on a particular point, destroying their argument with evidence and intelligent use of language is something to celebrate. This is how humanity evolves and improves. We should never resent or have ill will towards anyone who has a counter argument to our own where they're able to show using a sound logic and resisting the urge to become hysterically obsessed with making irrelevant personal comments. Why our premise may be wrong. However, what Christie does is something very different. It is common these days, particularly amongst left and leaning liberal types, i.e. those motivated by their emotional issues rather than their intellectual curiosity and pursuit of the truth, to spout totally irrelevant personal attacks which focus on personal appearance, sexual prowess, and other aspects of damaging someone's reputation whenever the fragile foundations of their half-baked arguments are pointed out to them. However, the level of hysteria which Christie reaches in her blog posts are quite disturbing to read. The vitriol and level of childishness is more akin to reading the diary of a teenage girl who has had some romantic crush spurn her advances than the written thoughts of an adult woman allegedly involved in serious ufological research. We must always focus upon why someone is saying something, what their true motivation. Sometimes they may not understand this consciously themselves, and not just focus on what they are saying. Well, thanks, Ileana. Thank you very much. I've spoken to you privately about this, and I appreciate what you've said here. I do. Timothy Jeff has said, point taken. I imagine to find Sasha Christie's blog, and she's saying on her blog that Ben was sacked by the NHS for happy slapping, bullying a fellow colleague. Well, Timothy, thank you. I'm glad you're willing to listen to the other side of the story, and you've read Sasha's blog. I don't know, I haven't looked at it for years. I don't know if her articles are still there, but please just go to the HPWA blog. There's a link to it from HPANWO TV, from the HPANWO TV blog. That's HPANWO TV-blogspot.co.uk. Indeed, if you go to the About tab on my channel, there's a link to the main HPANWO site. You can access it from there too, where you find my responses to all this ridiculous nonsense. Right. Reply to comment 101. David Smith. Hi, Ben. I joined Alt Tech and subbed to you. Thank you. We'll leave my comments there if I remember. I think I might go over as Whitey's blocking my comments, even on normie videos. God knows what they do if I started uploading my own content. Well, thanks, David. I'm glad you're over there. It is actually much better. I mean, I'm actually really fed up with YouTube's. I don't know if it's probably just a technical fault, but it seems to be one they're incapable of repairing. When it comes to comment posting and comments disappearing, I had one disappear on Niall Murphy's channel actually just an hour ago or so. The problem with YouTube also is they're actively involved in censorship using very underhand means. Yeah. Reply to comments 101. Timothy Jeffers. Just a thought. It would be a risky business for management to get the mother involved, as she could have publicly exposed the situation. It makes no sense why you said before you would need permission of your fellow colleague or his mother to upload the Porter's video back on the internet when you knew the mother was in cahoots with management to find an excuse to sack you from the NHS. All right. Oh, blimey. It's management take risks a lot in this, and in the case of me, they took the risks of knowing that they were essentially fabricating a case against me, knowing full well that I had a media platform where I could expose them too. It doesn't have to be her. I could expose them. And thirdly, I was popular with other members of staff. I mean, I had lots of friends, and they were very fond of me, and they were very upset when I got sacked. So sometimes management does take risks. But I would actually ask permission from anyone to re-upload Porters. I would. I think it'd be simply because I don't know. It seems just somehow respectful. It may make no sense to you, but it does to me. Dorset Tour Part 2. The Apollo Detectives. Hi, how you doing, guys? And it says, nice eagle, Neil. I've added your new model to the next video. I added a rocket flare coming out of the engine. It looks cool. It does, Apollo Detectives. Yeah, I was on the Apollo Detectives a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, thanks for your comment, guys. Reply to comments 101. UAPS. Hello, UAPS. Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon Society. It's a bit of an enigma why Ben is not getting as many comments as he used to. You'd think there would be more comments now than ever before his videos. Fishy. By the way, wouldn't you guys love to live next door to Ben? If I lived close to him, I'd be round every day to his flat and pestering him with my ideas and sharing all my spooky anecdotes with him. He would never get any peace. Lols. Sorry, I'm just in a silly mood tonight. Keep up the great work, Ben. Thanks, UAPS. It wouldn't just be you. It'd be all the gorgeous women, camping out and in tents, throwing their knickers on, hanging their knickers on my fence and things like that. Yeah. But it is the enigma. It is an enigma. I thought it was because Steve Mumbling wasn't posting anymore because I spent so much time responding to him because his comments were long, detailed, and very sort of like counter propositional. I thought that maybe because Steve Mumbling was no longer posting comments on my channel that was the reason, but it's not. Because the drop in comment uptake was actually it started after he quit. So I don't know why people are posting fewer comments. I don't know. Or maybe they're posting comments that aren't being displayed. Lou Elizondo book live stream. Stephen Garrity says disclosure or another evil, sinister, false dawn. Good question, and there's no way of knowing. I don't believe in the paradigm of prevention here, that we just assume it's the latter, because if we're wrong there, we miss an opportunity we really can't afford to miss. So I think we have to tread a very, very narrow path between excessive cynicism and excessive naivety. And go with where the evidence leads. If there are warning signs, we heed those warning signs. If there are encouraging signs, we heed those encouraging signs. We could go full Richard D. Hall and just dismiss it out of hand and say, no, it's a psyop by Shills, man, or we could just say, oh my God, it's the Pleiadians coming down to save us. No, both extremes are wrong. We have to strike a balance, I think. Same video. Original Dwarn Boy says, I will read this after I finished Cosmic Awakening, What Really Happened at Roswell and the Genesis of the UFO Cover-Up by John Brandenburg. All right, great Original Dwarn Boy. I've not heard of that book. John Brandenburg. Sounds interesting. Intriguing title. Really is. I mean, I've been reading about the UFO cover-up in Area 51, but I mean, in the book by Annie Jacobson, this one, I've shown you this several times. I've now finished it, and I've written a review on HPANWO Voice. But you see, she's got this idea that she's got this cover-up idea in her head, but she's gone completely the wrong direction. I'll just switch that off. Rick Horden says on Lou Elizondo book live stream, my screen's buffering. What's going on? I don't know, mate. It's not on my end. Hope you get it fixed. Tessa1111 says human measles in War of the Worlds. Yes, anyone who knows War of the Worlds will know that there's this rather annoying Deus Ex Machina at the end. The aliens are about to take over, but then they die of Earth diseases. Dorset Tour 1. And we have Patrick Patel. Hi, Ben. I just rewatched this video, and I honestly think you look awesome in your shirt and tie. Thanks, Patrick. I'll make sure I wear that one at the next thing. The next tour. There is on no book live stream. TK UK says, here's my comment. Right. Go on. No, it's nothing. It's just one sentence. Here's my comment. All right, TK UK. Thank you for your very brief comment. Okay. Tor Engen. Hello, Tor. How are you? Oh, thanks for the email you sent me as well. Much appreciated. Meadows Part 2 of 2. This is a great video. I love this one. The Meadows video. In reference to the Bigfoot recording, Sierra Sounds. Fascinating stuff. When I first heard it, I didn't realize how famous it was. I first heard it on David Paulides' 401 missing 411 hunters. The hunted. But I didn't realize it's much more famous than that. A few years ago, working on the summer house in Sweden, older brother and I went outside. It was pitch black. We heard something walking in the water close by. Then we heard some calling very similar to the recording at the start. Wee, wee. A bit higher pitched. We didn't respond, only returned inside. Just for the record, this area is known for its mysterious lights. The oldest I could find was from the 1920s. All right. In Sweden. I wonder, because there's a place in Norway where it's called Hestdalen where there's loads of weird lights. I wonder if is that close to you. But thanks for that. Maybe they're like Bigfoot-like creatures or some similar phenomenon. I mean, in Sweden, in Scandinavia. I mean, the thing about the missing 411 video by David Paulides is it doesn't mention Bigfoot. And then the guys he interviews, these old sort of hunters. This was like 50 years or so earlier. They had this experience, and they don't mention Bigfoot either. They mention some strange phenomena, such as strange lights floating through the woods and glowing rods and things like that. But there's no assumption in the actual video that these are caused by Bigfoot. They could be some other phenomenon that's causing these sounds. And the guys he interviews don't clarify either. Llewellyn Zondo's book live stream. Nothing as it seems. Hello, Barney Fife. Hello. All right, Barney Fife. Who's Barney Fife? Is he married to Betty Fife? Have they been abducted from Fife in Scotland? Here we go. CERN disproves ghosts is my old one taking the piss out of Brian Cox. Paul Graham says Ben is a nut job. Right. Very great. Very, very brave of you to say that, Paul. Now, why don't you turn up at one of the conferences and come and say that to my face? Hey, why don't you call me names to my face? Paul Graham, which is probably not your real name. Come on, why don't you? Right. Oh, here's an old one. Here's an old one. White people are reply to Christy Winters. Honestly, I'm surprised this one hasn't been deleted because it's very politically incorrect. Melvin Sherman says, to be more clear, is this a follow-up comment, mate? Because maybe I answered your last one last time. To be more clear, Putin would not attack Poland or Hungary, but my point still stands. He wants the Soviet Union back, a la Ukraine and Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, and then Putin maybe wants to go create it in his own new non-communist Eastern Bloc. Maybe if it's non-communist, it's not the Soviet Union. He doesn't want the Soviet Union back because he's not a Marxist-Leninist. But Melvin says, but my point still stands. Melvin, I think I remember your previous comment now. Yeah, I think I did say this at the time, but just to reiterate, Putin is not a Marxist-Leninist. If anything, he's quite a nationalist and traditionalist, which is almost the opposite. He does want the lands, such as you mentioned, Ukraine, and you also mentioned the Baltic republics. He wants them to be aligned to himself. He basically wants a Moscow-friendly government in all those countries. I've got a theory actually about Putin, because I think he may have given up on Trump now, because he endorsed Kamala Harris for the White House. Now I thought, why is he doing that? Why not Trump? He was always got on well with Trump. Whereas Harris is just she's basically Biden's mini-me. If she wins, it'll be business as usual. And the answer is, I think, because he has no faith in a second Trump presidency. Perhaps because of the lack of achievements on the first one. What he wants is because he's not an anti-New World Order activist like Trump is. He is simply a Russian nationalist, and he has decided that a weakened America is good for Russia. And I understand why. I think he's making a mistake, and I think he shouldn't lose faith in Trump. But I think I understand why he's done this, if that's the case. Because let's face it, if you're 4 years under Kamala Harris and the Democrats again, the US is going to sink even further from global prominence. It's already lost its original status it had in the mid to late 20th century. It's now a pole in the multipolar world, still a powerful pole, but it'll lose that. It'll even lose that position and become a very mediocre nation if Harris becomes president. And Putin just decided maybe that's a good thing, because then the principal locomotive of NATO will be gone. I think that's why he's done what he said. But Melvin, so if that's what you mean, then I'm in agreement with you. You say creator of his own non-communist Eastern Bloc. Yes, he does want to do that. He wants a non-communist Eastern Bloc. But you understand, when you say he wants the Soviet Union back, maybe I'm nitpicking over terminology here, but that's exactly what he doesn't want. I actually said this to Bowler Hat Man when I was thrashing him in our debate, and he didn't quite. I don't think he quite understood me. But thanks, Melvin. Thanks for the comment, and thanks for doing on this lovely old video. White people, a reply to Christy Winters. Yeah, oh yeah, baby. Right. Reply to comments 101. This is from Anon PC. Are you sure you don't mean a non-NPC? All right, because I know I remember this comment. He says here, how can you wonder why two there's? How can you wonder why the I think it means the replies to your videos have plummeted? You claim the views are the same. Take a look. You're delusional. You're, as in Y-O-U-R. This person can't even write properly. The views are around half of what they were because you banned all the people who disagreed with you in the comments. Ugh. And now I give my sort of like, what's his name? Don Shipley kind of exasperated look at the camera. Does anyone? How do I respond to something so ridiculous? Just say, Ben, why do you keep boiling kittens and eating them for breakfast? Ben, why do you keep painting your forehead purple? Ben, why do you keep levitating in the air and sort of like waggling your toes at the camera? How do I respond to someone who's accusing me of something I'm most so obviously not doing? Anyone who watches, you cannot watch my videos and think that I ban people who disagree with me. When I spent so much time debating with Steve Mumbling, with David Smith, with everyone who puts together a sensible, coherent counter proposition, and I ban people who disagree with me. A non-PC, I think you're one of the droid trolls, aren't you? Oh, I'm moving on from that. Thunderstorm generator. Oh, I love this video. Michael Alexander says, I too have been where this inventor is. Look up invention secrecy laws. All right. I'll just give it a quick Google. The invention secrecy laws. Oh, it's a Wikipedia page. Allows the United States government to classify ideas and patents under secrecy orders, which indefinitely restrict public knowledge of them. This law applies to all inventions in the United States, regardless of what the idea or invention is, if a patent is granted for or applied. Right. And it gives you a bit of history here. I'll just show it to you. I'll show you the Wikipedia page. I'm using StreamYard because I prefer the sharing mechanism. And I've got plenty of space on it. And there you go, World War I and World War II. And of course, I bet Nikola Tesla was one of the first beneficiaries of this law. Types of secrecy order. Oh, look at this. Timeline of patents issued over the year. Oh, right. It goes up and up and up and up and up. How many of them have been made secret? Known public examples. Oh, this is interesting. James Constant of California was restricted by a secrecy order from 1969 to 71 for his advancement in radar systems to track objects ranging from shipping containers to parts of industrial assembly line. And later in 1982 was denied damages by the courts. Oh, right. James Greer of Alabama, any relation to Stephen, was bound from 2002 to 2008. That allowed the development of anti-stealth tracking systems. So they do this. 2002, another example. These things do happen. Husband and wife inventors Budimir and Disanka Damjanovic, bloody Scottish people get everywhere, developed a method for spraying liquid from the back of an airplane. Planes do that anyway, don't they, when their toilets leak? That's weird, isn't it? So there are historical examples, right? Thanks, that's interesting. Thanks for that, Michael. Yeah, have you been under this attacked by this as well? Because I mean, I'd be interested. Please email me bennyj74@gmx.co.uk. You can find that in the HPANWO TV blog, and let's talk. David Splendid Isolation, Mysterious Earth 2024. All right, here we go. Good old David. I know David. Sarah was 90 when she had Isaac. Oh, right. She'd originally laughed with incredulity when God told them she would have him. That's why they called him Isaac, which means laughter. Elohim is a plural form of El. Yeah, him. Anything with I-M on the end, yeah. As Christians, we understand it refers to the plurality of God, his triune nature, especially when it's used with a singular verb, which in Hebrew is indicative of the intent. Otherwise, it would be the plural verb form. Thus, single but plural as one. The same oneness is used, for example, when Adam and Eve became one flesh. The Hebrew for one as a unity of one is used instead of the singular one. Right, triune, yeah, God in three persons, blessed Trinity, yeah. When it's used with a singular verb. All right, but then how come? Maybe you won't be able to answer this. Why the word Elohim was not used in the original Hebrew? For example, it changed to Jehovah, and this wasn't just like in the Gospels, which were translated from the Greek. This was in the original Hebrew Bible, the Torah, which is where the Latin came from. Do you know the answer to why is Jehovah different from Elohim? Yahweh being another version of Jehovah. I can remember Spike Milligan in Monty Python. Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah. You're only making it worse for yourself. How can I make it worse for myself? Blasphemer. All right. Mysterious Earth 2024. Neil, hello. Neil, thank you very much, Neil, for your technical help in this video, which was not as extensive as the one in the ASAP video, but it was still, you did contribute somewhat. Neil says, that was a quick edit and encode. I hope you had a nice time. Thanks very much, Neil. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. I'm getting my videos mixed up. Sorry, it wasn't that one, Neil. It was another one. Oh, God, which one was it? I don't know, but it was the ASAP one. Oh, we've got a thread here. Mysterious Earth 2024. Ian Gosling. Oh, right. Any relation to Tony? Oh, it's Gosling, not Gosling. I like you, Ben, but how blind you are. It wasn't the protection spell. It was the Lord's Prayer that gave you the good sleep. You may deny him, but he loves you. Oh, well, thank you, Ian. I mean, I don't, I am a man of faith in the sense that I believe in a divine, there is a divine consciousness to this universe, which you can call God if you want. But, I'm not religious. I use those prayers because those are the ones I used to say when I used to go to church when I was a kid. And they sort of stick in my head. If you remember from my March for Life video, do you remember how I said those prayers when we were on this protest to protect the unborn? And I remember saying how it did make me feel good to say these prayers, despite the fact that I am a lapsed Roman Catholic, And Neil says underneath here, shame if Ben denies him, and yet the Lord loves him. He will, according to Christian God doctrine, be sent to hell. Hell, where the screaming demons with white hot whips of barbed wire. Even though he loves him. Funny that. Neil has just ignited a theological debate. Ian Gosling says to Neil, so it must have been the fairy spell, not the healing prayer then, Neil says. Could be that Ben was just very tired from a long day. That's true, Neil, yeah. We can agree on that, says Ian. Neil. Ben has been travelling from one end of the country to the other, so it usually catches up with you. That's right. In the space of a single week, I went from Oxford to Winchester, then back to Oxford, then up to Lancashire. Yeah. Ian says, I admire his fortitude. He keeps pottering on. Thank you, Ian. Much appreciated. And Neil says, he keeps entertaining us for sure. I'm glad. Well, that's the basic idea. That's the main purpose, man. Just as long as you're entertained, that's the main thing. Would love to have that T-shirt, says Neil. Yeah, indeed. Good old Penny. Penny is she's like almost a permanent fixture at these various events. She really is. Nothing as it seems, says on Mysterious Earth. Ben, I don't know if you've looked into ancient Minoan society. Oh yes, I have a bit. Because there's this theory about I think some of the orgonomists like Leon Southgate have mentioned this, but I'll let you explain. When my wife and I were newly married, we took a course in archaeology. We were quite keen to learn about the Minoans as my wife's family migrated from Crete. I've cut and pasted this for your perusal. Right, yeah, I'll say what I'll read your stuff in a minute, nothing, but I'll just say there is a theory. Now, what happened is the Minoan civilization, this was on Crete, on the island of Crete. There we go. The largest Greek island, it says here. It was destroyed. What happened is it was completely destroyed. It was obliterated in a massive here are the Minoans. Let's have a look. So I'm just doing a little bit of a okay. I can't just wiki something and do research. I know I can't just wiki something and do bloody research when I'm in the middle of bloody when I'm in the middle of this. Kim Stanley Robinson is always on about this. There we go. Right, let's look. Santorini, Greek island. Here we go. The island is right. The Minoan eruption. Here we go. Right. Okay. What it is, right? There was the first, the really dawning of high European civilization really began on Crete, according to official history, way back in the early third millennium BC. So this was round about not only a few centuries after Sumer and Egypt rose from the desert, and they believed they at the time were very different in the sense that they're often described as matriarchal, or even like there was sexual equality and things like this. But what Lynn Picnic calls the patriarchy didn't exist, and that that women essentially had equal political power as men. They were not essentially relegated to domestic roles as feminists. Or feminists complain, usually wrongly, that women are restricted to today. Now, there's always a theory that if this civilization had survived, we would have like a global civilization in which you wouldn't have the what you call male-dominated society. It wouldn't be masculine. It wouldn't be as masculine-centric or male-centric as it is now. There's always this theory that in alternative history that would have happened. Now, this is explored in Kim Stanley Robinson. He in several of his books, like such as the Gold Coast and the Mars trilogy. He goes into this in great detail, and there's actually some there. He actually describes a society among Martian colonists he describes as Neo-Minoan. The thing about it is, like, Kim Stanley Robinson is a brilliant writer. He's a horrible little lefty, but he's a brilliant writer, and I love his books. There's this. What happened was the entire civilization was wiped out very instantly in a terrible disaster. It was a holocaust. It was a massive cataclysmic holocaust, basically, when the Santorini island volcano erupted. It erupted very violently in 1600 BC. And I mean, there's even people who will say, there's pictures of giant rocks on mainland Greece that were hurled. There's a rock about the size of a house that was basically hurled all the way hundreds of miles up into the air, and it landed on the mainland of Greece by the force of this huge eruption, this enormous explosion. I think it doesn't actually say what it is, but it's considered one of the worst, biggest explosions ever seen. Much bigger than any nuclear weapon. It was huge. And what happened was, in its place, the Mycenaean civilization arose, which was masculine-centric, and it went on to form Athens and all these other ancient Greek civilizations. That's the basics. But anyway, I think it's a very long-winded way of what nothing as it seems is going to tell me now. Here we go. Minoan religion appears to have been centered around female deities with women officiants. The snake goddess, a prominent figure in Minoan art and iconography, is often depicted as a powerful authoritative figure. The lack of ruler iconography in monumental complexes and the emphasis on ritual activity suggests that the Minoan religion was potentially centered on a matriarchal figure. Yeah. It was definitely. I think it was definitely pre-Illuminati. Definitely, it was pre-Illuminati. I'd say. Of course, official archaeology wouldn't know. So, what are you talking about, Ben? But yeah, it seems to. I mean, it does. A lot of their material survives in terms of the ruins of the buildings have been excavated and things like that. And there's some pictures and things which seem to. It's very, very interesting. They used to like. There's some pictures of women doing what looks like bullfights, which is interesting, I suppose. They often not well known. They're extreme. What's interesting is they're topless, which is of course very. Of course, always interesting for someone like me, but a man, in other words. But yeah, okay. Thanks, nothing as it seems. It's a big subject. I don't have time to go into it now. Rick Horden says on Mysterious Earth 2024, paradisiacal. Great job as always. Cheers, Ben. You're welcome. Paradisiacal. Yeah, I was trying to think of a word, and his word popped into my head with a moment of clarity. 3828. That's a great poem, Ben. Oh, thanks, Rich. I know you're talking about the Footprints poem. Yeah, that's a lovely poem. I might read it out actually because it's such a Footprints in the Sand. Yeah. Who wrote the Footprints in the Sand poem? Yeah. Oh, it's actually it says, oh, here we go, footprints. I didn't say who wrote it. Is no copyright on it, is there? No. It's a popular modern allegorical Christian poem. Besides, yeah, okay. Authorship of the poem is disputed. All right, that's okay. Here we go, and there's several versions of it. Here we go. A man who lived his life and left this world to go and meet his maker asked the Lord a question. As I'm looking down on the paths I've trod, I see two sets of footprints on the easy paths, but down the rocky roads I see only one set of footprints. Tell me, Lord, why did you let me go down all those hard paths alone? The Lord smiled and simply replied, "Oh, my son, you've got that all wrong. I carried you over those hard paths. Those footprints are mine." It is lovely. And I just happened to see that in the sand, and I thought it just popped into my head. And 7762 says, and on the same video, as always, Ben, great video, and looking forward to your next adventure. Oh, thanks, 7762. There's going to be another one in about a month's time, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's a conference, but it's a very unusual and special one, and I think I will leave it as a surprise for you guys. You'll never believe it, man. You'll never believe it when you see the video. All right, Toxic Skies film reviews. Tommy Foley says, never been allowed to portray truth. Never have been allowed to portray truth like the stupid misinfo moon hoax movies. Right. Oh, do you mean like Capricorn 1 and things like that? I don't know exactly what point you're making here. Never have been allowed to portray truth. Full stop, no gap, like the stupid misinfo moon hoax movies. I don't quite understand your point, Tommy, but Toxic Skies is a really good. It's all right. It's kind of B movie, but it's really good in its messaging. And the lady, what's her name? Anne Hesh, who stars in it. She was also in Wag the Dog, which was this great film with Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman playing these political manipulators. I think she may have trod too far to the edge because she was very brutally murdered. I mean, it was murder. I mean, she was seen on TV. I mean, she was benched. Essentially, she was put onto an ambulance trolley for the paramedics, but then she was trying to climb off it, and they forced her to stay on it. And what happened to her? I think that was murder. Mysterious Earth, Tessa1111 says, white noise subliminal. Creatures of ancient history. Silence was spooky if the animals weren't hunting at night. All right. So if you couldn't hear anything, it meant what? It meant that that there were no animals, or were the animals just being very quiet? Sorry, Tessa, I don't understand your point. Same video, Tessa again. Smithsonian dumped giants skeletons into the ocean out of sight of an archaeological mine. Yeah, they certainly. Well, some of them are in the secret vaults, but I'm sure a lot of them were destroyed as well. They were like obliterated. They were just got rid of. They were removed. Rhiannon Raven again, who puts on this comment on Mysterious Earth. To be fair to Lynn Picknett, she's using patriarchy in the correct sense. Christianity is a patriarchal religion. Until very recently in its history, there were no female priests, and women were, and could be argued, still seen as vessels of sin and temptation. So when Lynn refers to patriarchy, she's using the word in the correct sense, as a reference to the Christian church. It is very different to the modern misuse of the word patriarchy, which modern pampered narcissistic feminists use when they refer to the myth of male power, which no longer exists in modern Western society. Changing the subject. I'll respond to that, Leanne, but thank you very much. Yeah. Well, if that's what she means by it, then I agree with her. Some of the things she said made me feel like she was being influenced by modern Western secular feminism. I mean, I am hypersensitive to that subject, as you know, but that's the feeling I got. Changing the subject. Penny seems like a really nice human being. She is. She's great. One final observation. Do you think that the reason you felt awful and had trouble switching the brain off and getting some sleep on the first night may have had something to do with the fact that you had been talking and thinking about your father's girlfriend and all the negative and hostile feelings she invokes? The subconscious mind may have been trying to deal with those thoughts and feelings in a way that was not obvious, but which resulted in a feeling of foreboding and agitation that you then experienced. Maybe. I mean, normally I have trouble sleeping because of those feelings and thoughts are conscious. But in this case, they may have been subconscious. To be honest, I felt a lot better since. I feel a lot better about the whole thing, and I haven't had those negative thoughts since I confronted her. I feel I've released a lot of that pressure that was building up in me. Which I describe in my Lapis video. I feel, since I had it out with her and she turned against me, I feel a hell of a lot better. I mean, I wrote an article you've probably seen. It's actually called "I Feel Fantastic." And I do, and I did. Yeah. Thanks, Rhiannon. Mysterious Earth 2024, Dark Corners UK. Another fantastic reportage, Ben. Thank you, DC UK. Much appreciated. ASAP Seriously Strange 2024, Neil Peel Paranormal Peep Show. First here, well done. Thank you, Neil, and well done to you. Well done to you for getting the first comment in. And of course, this video is very much, as you see in the credits, and I've said, it's pretty much as much your work as it is mine. You've done a lot of you certainly assisted to a great degree. And you say here, excellent filming from the assistant cameraman. Yes, indeed. And Snarnock says here, hi Neil, your reply under my comment above seems to have been deleted by YouTube after I edited the typos in my comment. Please re-reply. You were recommending some other sleep supplement as well. Not you as well. Snarnock, I'm sorry, mate. I have reported this to YouTube. I've reported this issue. This may be why I'm getting fewer comments. And Neil says, "Oh, I was talking about Phenanogen, which is prothazine under other names. All right, promethazine. All right. I actually recommend to you guys you're commenting. It's worth copying your comment just to a notepad document or something. Or writing it in the notepad document first before posting it, or using Word or something. Right, Israel. All right, same video. Israel Diego Rivera Genius 2, the real genius, says, "Don't get abducted by aliens, Ben." I'll try not to, Diego Rivera. And it turns out I didn't. And Contact Times, hello, Contact Times, says underneath, "Ben's safe." All that stuff ended years back. Well, unless I get this implant taken out, which I don't really care about. Neil says, "I looked out for him too, Contact Times." You did indeed, Neil. And so did Rhiannon and Michael. That's right. ASAP Seriously Strange 2024. Ralph Winter. Nice one, Ben. Good vid. I think Gudvid, G-U-D and V-I-D. I think that's a Swedish word, and it means happy spring or something like that, or happy season. But thanks, Ralph. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad. Maybe it just means good vid, in which case, thanks. ASAP Seriously Strange. And Hugo Rune has come out of the closet and broken his silence. Hi, Ben and all. He's come down from his mountain shack and reminded us all he's okay. I'm glad you are. And I actually did put I put a text comment saying, "Hi, Hugo. Good to hear from you again." Hugo, I mean, you don't have to comment, and you have stopped commenting. You're entitled to a break. I just want to know you're all right, mate. I just want to know you're right, because there's another guy who used to comment on my video that's I'm not so optimistic about, and I'll say more later because it does come up in this video. Mysterious Earth 2024. Helen Tucker. I could have sworn I heard you say you had to change at Glasgow. Love watching your journeys. Did I? That's a bit of a long way round, Helen. Maybe I slipped that in by mistake. It was the train to Glasgow I had to get from Birmingham to Preston. Oh, I don't think I'll ever do that again. ASAP Dark Corners. Thanks for another cracking video, Ben. You're welcome, Dark Corners. Thank you for watching. Rhiannon Raven says on ASAP, "When I win the lottery, I will buy a pub and we'll rename it the Dogman and Saucer, and you can be the general manager." Oh, thank you, Rhiannon. Thank you. If I win the lottery, I'll buy it for you, and I'll buy another pub close by, and I'll call it the Hospital Porter's Arms. Red Snapper says, "Does anyone win the lottery?" Some people do, yeah. ASAP says, "Snarnock." It could be you, Red Snapper. Sorry, it could be you. Snarnock says, "Enjoyed on ASAP. Enjoyed the video as usual, Ben." Hang on, what's this? All right, okay. Have you considered taking melatonin to help you get to sleep? Matt Williams takes it, and he explains that it's naturally produced in the body, and you only need to take a small amount of it. Oh, right, okay. Oh, excuse me. I'm not sure my insomnia is that bad, actually. Well, insomnia is caused, like I said, by my own thoughts and feelings, pretty much. And I found what I found is by controlling those thoughts and feelings, I'm getting better at this, I can make it go away. Usually I can try. Firstly, I get up and read a book for a little bit, then I go back to bed, and I'm thinking about something better, and then that has really switched my mind onto another track, so it's okay then. But melatonin, does Matthew need it? Do you think Matthew's probably got so much going through his head, about Mr. Chin Face and things like this that he needs it to calm down. And Neil says, try promethazine. That works for me. All right. Oh, this is the conversation you were having earlier, isn't it? And Neil says to Snarnock, oh, I was talking about Phenergan, which is promethazine under another name. All right. Mysterious Earth, Snarnock. I always look forward to these travelogue and reportage videos, Ben. Apparently, after the war, a large quantity of German U-boats were scuttled in the Irish Sea. Wouldn't surprise me, mate. They were scuttled everywhere just to stop them falling into the wrong hands. Not all of them. One of them escaped to South America, and another went to Antarctica. I talk about that in other videos, don't I? Mysterious Earth 2024, Snarnock. Did any of the speakers mention the Anunnaki? The Anunnaki. Oh, God. Oh, that reminds me of the Anunnaki. That reminds me of Intel Lady. Do you know Intel Lady? Have you heard of her? Oh, she's so funny. I've got to just show you this. Here we go. This is Intel Lady, who is a comedian. Let me just share screen. Hang on. Oh, she's quite into UFOs and the conspiracy because she's been interviewed by Stephen Cambion. I've heard her on that show, and she's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. She's a great impressionist. She does loads of impressions of Angela Rayner. It's a no-brainer with Angela Rayner, and various other people's as well. Oh, gosh. And she does she does Kerry Cassidy. Oh God, let me just find the video. Hang on a sec. I don't think she mind me playing a little bit of it. Here we go. These are the various videos of Kerry Cassidy. I mean, have a watch of this. This is just so funny. This will make you absolutely. This is hilarious. This just is so funny. I can't believe it.
Okay, all right. Hello. So I've just gotten off the phone from Captain Mark Richards, incarcerated for a crime of He also witnessed NASA launching their 3 rockets in their special ritual that they were doing in conjunction with the Anunnaki. And it is to bring in a dark energy so that everybody votes for Biden. This is, they made the eclipse happen in an election year. That was confirmed by Captain Mark Richards, incarcerated for a crime he didn't commit, and confirmed also by Juan O'Savin.
What? That is so good. I mean, she's got her down to a T. I mean, her voice tone, intonation, hand gestures, and everything like that, body language. She's absolutely got Kerry down to a T. There, it's so good. Now, I don't know if Kerry would see the funny side of that. I hope so. I mean, I don't know exactly for sure, but I wouldn't say offending her is a reason not to do it, because that's the problem with the comedy these days is you're not allowed to offend anyone. As a result, you can't produce anything that's funny, and it becomes like non-comedy, something for Reginald Perrin's grot shop. So well done, Intel Lady. Please do check out her channel. As I said, she's one of the funniest people on YouTube, and her videos are really hilarious. I always watch them if I want a good laugh. She's really, really good. Now, what happened now? I made a community notice a couple of days ago because I decided. I mean, I mentioned I would do this if it was necessary, but I went to the street where Slaxer lives. I know where he lives. I don't know the exact house, but I know the street. And I wanted to see if he was okay, because he's been quiet since Christmas. And yeah, I couldn't find him. I mean, I knocked on a few doors, and the people there said they'd never heard of him. Now, I know Slaxer is a very shy person. He keeps himself to himself. He avoids contact. But I described him physically, and I spoke to one lady who said, "Oh, I know everyone who lives in the street. I've lived here for ages. I don't recognize this guy." But I think I knocked on every door in that street. It's a very small street. It's only like about 20 houses. And so I don't know where he is. And I don't know. His name is very, very common. Yeah, David Mason. It's not. I mean, that's not a secret. That is his name. It's a very common name, and I don't really know how to find it. And Crafty Nihilist said, "Why have I missed something important?" I just said, "He's been silent for the best part of a year, and I'm worried about him." And she said, "Oh, I see." And I said, "When people go quiet on social media these days, you can guess what I fear." And well, people. I've lost so many people, so many friends lately. I just I do worry about things. I do worry about whether someone's okay. Right, video ban 12. Richard says here, his name's Richard Jade. I don't know if that's a comment code. Richard, I'll call him Richard. I shared a post by someone else today on Facebook and was almost immediately on screen informed that my post had been deleted as it didn't meet Facebook's guidelines. Regrettably, I can't remember the theme, but I felt it was just a very light political post relating probably to Starmer or Biden. I was surprised and disappointed. Richard, I'm so sorry, mate, because this happens to me. This happened to me. Facebook have been deleting posts, simply the notices I post for things like these videos. I can't share them anymore because Facebook say I'm spamming and they delete them. So I'm having to like post them on each group. I post them separately and have to add extra text to fool the automated system. And then this on video ban 12, someone put in a text reply. Sebastian Moran said, "Where can I watch it?" Ben, thank you, mate. Oh, right, that is the 17th letter live stream, right? And as I said here, first I said you had to use search, but then I said there is actually a link in the description box of the video to the HPANWO TV notice. That's on the HPANWO TV blog, where you can actually access. You can actually access the what's the word? You can access the whichever video you want on BitChute, Odyssey, or Rumble. And I've had some comments on there actually so I know that some people have been watching it. So yeah, Streisand effect, guys. You blew it. ASAP Seriously Strange 2024. Bernie Tucker says, I love these videos, Ben. Please keep making them. I'm always learning interesting things. Oh, I will, Bernie. As long as HPANWO TV is necessary, HPANWO TV will be here. Hachi says on video ban 12. Oh, Ben, shock and horror. Love from me and him. Oh, whoever him is. Oh, there's some paw prints. All right, it's your dog or cat. Thank you. Yeah, it's ridiculous, and I mean, I'm always gonna make people aware when these videos get banned. And I don't know how many more videos can they ban now? Because I mean, for the last few years, I've been doing alt tech exclusives, so it's all old videos. Right, and now there's another comment on my notice about Slackser. DC UK says, I hope he's okay, and I said fingers crossed. Yeah, I do. Dave, if you're watching, please get in touch, mate. Let me know you're all right. Mysterious Earth 2024 Wayne Model Builder says here. I can't sleep unless there is something in the background. You as well. Oh, because I was talking about silence, wasn't I? I've been like it since childhood. For example, I have this video on now while in bed. I agree, it's strange, but as soon as the video ends, it's silence, and I wake up very strange. All right. Well, I know someone who put Stephen Cambion. He was honest. He said this when he was going through a really difficult time in his life. He always used to put on the X conference videos, and they used to give him comfort. And well, Stephen. I'm a critic of Stephen, but I think to myself, I appreciate his honesty, and I think I felt really sorry for him at that moment, even though, like I said, I really hate what he says sometimes. But that's weird. I mean, you're not the only one. So this is kind of what that guy Greg Moffat was saying. Video ban 12. David Smith says, I've been using Rimble, but honestly, the downvotes hiding comments is just more censorship, so not a fan. Do they do that on Rumble? I don't think they do that on Rumble, do they? It's just... as it's a right-wing site, it's mostly echo chamber stuff. So I probably won't use it that much. Oh, David. Just if something triggers you, just ignore it. Yeah, well, YouTube is more neutral, but the line we have to walk is getting thinner and thinner on all sides. Right. I wouldn't call YouTube neutral at all. It's very, very politically biased. But I mean, I've noticed that some leftists have been banned as well. I mean, Vorsh got some of his videos deleted. So it does maybe that, you know, there's constrictions on both sides now. And I think they're trying to prop up the center ground because, you know, centrism in politics is really becoming. It's so yesterday, isn't it? You know, we vote for like liberal Democrats and democratic liberals and liberal conservatives. No, we want hardline socialists and we want hard right nationalists. Yeah. Oh, that's the end of an hour. Oh, I'll finish David's. I will finish. I've started, so I'll finish. I'll finish David's comment here. Okay. I don't understand how I can see some people getting away with saying offensive or dangerous things, quote unquote, while others get instantly deleted. Are some people getting away with saying dangerous things? Well, there were a couple of like alt-right channels that are still on YouTube, and they do say things that I can't quite believe they're still there. I mean, for example, of the 37 Gang. I mean, you know, Hemingford Gray and Hobbit and the 40 words. They're still there. I don't know why they're not banned, because they're quite radical actually. I watch them because they're quite amusing, but I don't agree with what they say. But I watch them for their amusement's sake. And David says, I think it's just lazy algorithm takeover rather than someone trying to control it. Paying humans to evaluate everything can't be done. So some people who get caught out. It's just too bad. Sucks. That may be so. I don't know. I mean, there does seem to be some discrepancy that you point out now. Come to think of it, maybe I'll have to think about that. Maybe it is possibly just a result of bad AI, or AU as I call it, artificial unintelligence. All right, guys, that's the end of an hour. See you in a minute. Well, hello, guys and gals. Welcome to part 2 of this reply to comments video number 102. All right, so where were we? We just answered David Smith and what he had to say, and we're going to move on straight away to, on video band 12, David Smith again. He says here, I made a comment. What's happened? Oh, good grief. Hang on. A timestamp. Yeah, it's the second. It's a new timestamp. Second hour. This hour won't be very long, actually, or it will be a very short hour. David Smith said, I made a comment. It's gone, but the comment number says 6. Even without my C grade maths, I count 5 comments. Getting this across every video for me, no matter the content or creator. And I just said here underneath, hi David, there is another comment by you on this upload. It begins, I've been using Rumble. Don't know why you can't see it too. I'll just reply to it. Let me know if you can see my reply. And I did. I put a reply saying, I can see this comment. And David says underneath, yeah, they're showing up now. Thanks. Oh, maybe that's what it needed. Maybe it needs the reply from the creator for it to appear, which is ridiculous. But there you go. And Snarnock said, you need to click on sort by at the top of the comments section and click newest first. The rest of the hidden comment will then show. At Snarnock, I've tried that. It doesn't always work. It has a couple of times, but it's not a reliable way of solving this problem. And of course, that's really annoying, but that seems to be the way it goes. Right, and now I'm back on my Slackser thing, my Slackser notice again, and he says here, Jack Burns says, just been thinking about him the other day when I was looking through my list of liked videos. I hope he's all right. And I said, yeah, I'll let you know as soon as I find out, and I will. I'll let you know he's okay. Right, now we come to notice of Alt Tech exclusive Richard's chart rematch. And Richard, this is not Abby Richards. Richard says, looking forward to it. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, Richard. I hope you watched it and enjoyed it. Let me know what you scored. ASAP Seriously Strange 2024. Mr. McGee says, I do enjoy your conference videos, Ben. Thanks. The running commentary and your general observations. You put a lot of effort into your journey there. Where can I find information on up-and-coming conferences throughout the year? Well, Mr. McGee, there are no more this year. Well, there's one I'm going to, which I'm not going to tell you about. Sorry, but it's actually not. It's not the kind of conference you're talking about anyway. But there are, if you just Google UFO Conference UK or whichever country you're in, You'll find one sooner or later, or paranormal conference and things like that. I'll keep, just or go through my catalog. You don't. I'm not inducing you to watch the videos, but if you go through my catalog, you will find various. You will find various videos of events I've been to, which you can then. Yeah, videos that I've been to, which you can then kind of like, what's the word? You can then like look up on their website to see when their next one is. Red Snapper. Hello, Red Snapper. This is on Ben in the Desert, part 1 and 3. This is another really great video. This is the best conference I've ever been to by far. Not sure how I missed this, Ben. I've just started watching now. Well, thanks, Red Snapper. Much appreciated. I hope you enjoy it. And Red Snapper says here, Ben in the Desert, part 1 and 3. Mark and Colin starting as they mean to go on the booze. Oh yes, first thing we did when we got to the departure terminal, into the Wetherspoons and having a pint. Red Snapper 55. Red Snapper says here on 55. Why would Colin get fired for an association with you? I didn't mention Colin's name. I mentioned someone I know who works for an airline. It may or may not be Colin, but they would get us fired because people do for having anything to do with this, with the things I talk about. And it's happened to me. It's happened to lots of people. It happened to Miles. It happened to Gary Heseltine. It happened to Kevin Annett. It's all the time, right? So that's why. And you said Colin. I didn't mention his name. I'm not going to confirm or deny whether it is Colin or not. Red Snapper says here on Ben in the Desert, part 1 of 3. 105.54. Nightmare at 20,000 feet. Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, this is a. Let me just remind myself of what that was about. I can't seem to be able to find. Okay, let me just go to. Was it the one where there's a plane? Oh, hang on. There's a plane, and there are. So where was it again? Oh, I know what it was. Sorry, it's an American. It was. It's the episode of the Twilight Zone. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's right. The episode of the Twilight Zone with old Captain Kirk, William Shatner in it. Yeah, of where he encounters. He's just a guy. He's like nervous because he's just come out of a mental hospital, and he's there with his wife on the plane. But he keeps looking out the window, and there's a strange creature walking on the wing. When everyone else looks, it's just not there. It's like it's only when the plane lands and you suddenly realise you was right because the engineers come forward to service the aircraft, and it says, "Oh my God, what's happened? Someone's been ripping the engine to bits." Brilliant episode. Ben in the Desert, part 1 of 3. Red Snapper 14108. That was with the late Barry. That was which one's that? Sorry, I'm going to go to the video now. 14108. Let's have a look. It's an American thing, but the toilet bowls are so full of water. And here is absolutely essential for me, of course, a hairdryer. God help me. It starts at 2, so we're probably registering about 1 or something like that. So I'm not all that bothered. So I'm just going to sleep as sleep may come, and then hopefully I don't feel dizzy. So I'm a bit confused over why that is. I think it could be. I don't know. It could be just nerves being in a different place. I remember I've only had it once before, and that was when I went to Ireland with somebody I never should have gone on holiday with. No, no. The last time I had it. No. I know who you mean, right? I've mentioned I did go on holiday to Ireland with Barry, but I went back again with someone else. It wasn't him. No, it wasn't with Barry. No, I had a great time when I went there with Barry. Red Snapper says here, 123, says, there's only 21 minutes before I started. Good video. Thanks, Red Snapper. Glad you enjoyed it. And that is the end, although I'm going to go now to notifications because I will have had some, I think I've had a few comments while I've been waiting. So, because we're almost at the end of this video now, so because I'm going to do all text separately, as I've said. And we got some from Red Snapper. Hang on, let me see how far these go. Oh, Red Snapper's there. Red Snapper says here, all right. On the same video, he says here, best conference. Oh, come on, hang on. Best conference day you ever had. Nice one. Oh, thank you. It was Red Snapper. This was the best. It's the best conference I've ever been to by far, and I really want to go back next year. My time and money allowing, I will. I really will. And then Red Snapper commented here, 3653. Oh, right, I know what this is about. Ufology is traditionally male, pale, and stale. Is that starting to change? Oh, he's pulled the pin. Right, Red Snapper. Let's have a look. This is a video I want to show you. I'm not going to play it, but I will show it to you. Right? Please do watch this video, Women in Ufology. All right. Here we go. There is a sense within the UFO paranormal conspiracy theoretical community there are too many men and not enough women. What can we do about that? Or does anything need to be done at all? Please do watch that, mate, because it just says everything. Leave a comment under that, because I could rant for an hour about this, what you just said. It's too pale, male, and stale. That instantly is a cliche that came from the Labour Party conference. So please do just watch it and let me know what you think. All right, whatever your opinion is, I'll give you I'll have a listen. I'll listen to what you have to say and I'll watch it. Well, that ends this particular reply to comments video number 102. This is brackets YouTube. You may have noticed the title says brackets YouTube. Now, this is not the end of this particular reply to comments series of videos, because I'm going to do another one now. I'm going to do alt tech comments on a separate video, which are going to be called, originally enough, reply to comments 100 part 102 brackets alt tech. So please do look out for that. Now, you will not find it on YouTube, or you will not find that particular video on YouTube. You have to go over to alt tech to find it, but it is there. And obviously I'm going to put this video on alt tech as well. So if you sub to me on alt tech, you'll be able to see it. So or just go over and take a look. Or if you look at the HPANWO TV blog, you'll find a link to that. So thanks to everyone who's left a comment on this on my channel. My YouTube channel is very, very active and very interesting, and even some of the unpleasant, the rude ones were quite funny. So please do let me know what you think. Tell me what I think. And contrary to popular belief and what I've been accused of, I never ban people for expressing different opinions. I have banned people for being obnoxious and rude and aggressive, but that's the only reason. So what's coming next? Well, I've got another video with Rin McKaylis coming soon. Yeah. And lots of others as well. So please keep an eye on the channel, and you'll see it very, very soon indeed. Thank you for watching HPANWO TV. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order.
Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries, monster cryptids, psyops, saucers and black triangles, HPANWO.